want to understand the energy industry, you need to listen to the guys who've gotten it right. Guys like Charif Souki, he's the co-founder and chairman of Tellurian. He's also the man who built Cheniere Energy into a liquefied natural gas titan that I hope you invested in because he made you a ton of money. Starting all over again. I like what I see. For those of you who don't remember, Tellurian, they're developing liquefied natural gas export terminals like Cheniere. And they've also started making investments in pipelines and even natural gas production. Bought a lot of acres in Haynesville. I like that area. Now, I mentioned this because this man's track record, well, let's just say it's second to none. He was one of the few executives who called the oil collapse. And then last time we spoke to him in October, when everyone was so negative of oil, he suggested that oil prices should be going higher. That's exactly what happened. You got to take him seriously. Let's check in with Charif Souki. He's the co-founder and chairman of Tellurian. Get a better sense of where both his company and the broader industry are headed. Mr. Souki, welcome back to Mad Money. Some of us are tired of seeing how right you are, sir. Last time oil was in the 40s. You said it could go to 50 to 60, maybe even north of that because of worldwide risk, which no one was thinking was going to happen. You got it right. Still stick with that forecast?
I have another problem today. It's cost of infrastructure. The resource is there, but in order to get it to the water and to be able to export it in the United States, I'm not sure it's there. And on a global basis, we had what you would always expect. We had very low prices for 3 years.
Right.
And therefore, all the producers are now not very financially stable.
Right.
So they cannot invest. And the U.S. is the savior. However, we don't have the infrastructure to take it to the water. We've been geared to take it from the water to the rest of the country. And now we have to be able to get it from where it's produced to the water, and that the infrastructure doesn't exist.
Okay, well, this is a great way to start talking about building a low-cost global gas business, which is what you're doing. I deal with a lot of companies in the Permian. A lot of natural gas is just being flared. They're just leaving it for nothing. It's the lowest cost in the world. You have a slide here which says, other than one country, you're going to be the cheapest. Talk to me about building a low-cost global gas business after you already built one, and whether we need more than one, or we also have Dominion. I mean, we're getting a couple of these now.
So the fundamental issue is that wellhead cost today for natural gas, whether it's in the Permian Basin or the Scoop Stack or the Marcellus or the Utica, is always $1.50 or less.
Right.
And yet Henry Hub is at $3. Okay, so there's a disconnect. Again, the infrastructure.
Right.
We cannot get it to the market.
It's landlocked, but you're going to change that.
I think if you want to be in a commodity business, you have to be the low-cost producer, and therefore you have to do all parts of the chain well.
Right. Now, this is a chart, Driftwood versus competitors, and it's a gutter that is the lowest, and then you next, which is rather amazing. Now, the thing that I've always been fascinated by is there are people who want to get on the Charif Souki train. And then I read in December that Saudi Arabia wants to invest in the United States. They want to be involved with low-cost production, and they have found Tellurian. How is that going?
Well, since we started the effort 2 years ago, it's almost 2 years now. Yeah. It's amazing how time flies. We've done things very methodically. First, make sure you can build it cheap. Right. Second, go
cheaper than you did the first time.
Pretty much in line, but this is 5-6 years later.
Okay.
So we haven't suffered from inflation. So we'll be right around where we were with Sabine Pass.
Right.
And then go source it properly. And the gas is much cheaper today than it was 5 years ago.
Right.
So you have to go find it and build the infrastructure to get to it. On that basis, once we've done all this, we are actually looking at the low-cost producer of LNG on a global basis. So people are automatically attracted to us. We've been in contact with 100 or more companies for the last 6 to 9 months. And we now have to herd them all together.
And countries. Like, so well, that just, you're a man of the world. I mean, you were always had utility companies from all over the globe that were always interested in what you're doing. Do they still need our natural gas?
They need natural gas, definitely. We have the cheapest gas in the world, so they need our gas, yes.
Now, you're also partnered with General Electric. A lot of people are worried about General Electric, but that's nothing. Your division that you're working with is doing a good job, right?
Yes, and they're also going to be one of our large suppliers. So we will be worth $1 billion or more for General Electric. And then they will have a maintenance program with us, as we did with Cheniere for many years, right, which will be a couple of $100 million a year. So it's a very, very strong partnership.
Okay. Now, I saw you buy some net acreage in Haynesville, which was an area that had been left for dead, that you obviously know has incredibly low cost. Is that the beginning of many acquisitions, or are you just going to be able to provide? I know you're doing doing pipe to get it, say, from the Apaches of the world who don't know how to get their natural gas out? What is the plan, or is it all pieces?
We want to have the flexibility to choose the cheapest all the time.
Okay.
Whether we have to drill for it or simply source it from the Apache lakes.
How much do we really have in this country, Charif?
It never stops.
Never stops.
And it's amazing. And now we're getting better at producing the natural gas itself.
Right.
And we are also finding a lot of natural gas which is associated with oil, so the price of gas almost doesn't matter.
Right.
It's a byproduct.
It's a total byproduct.
I mean, look at what just happened in the Bakken. They're curtailing oil production because they can't do anything with their gas.
Right. Well, you can't flare it. You can see it from the. Well, you told me you can see it from the moon. Whatever. Now, I have to ask you about deregulation. Is it easier now to get the permitting, get what you need because of the Trump revolution, or is it really just the same and that's just a lot of chatter?
It's the same.
It's the same.
Yes. It is just the Trump administration is prouder of us than the Obama administration was. So one brags about us and the other one used to hide.
Take it where you can get it. Natural gas prices.
They were both very supportive.
Where are natural gas and oil prices going? Because you've become, unfortunately, gospel. So I'm putting you on putting the feet to your fire.
Okay, we have so much natural gas in this country, and a lot of it is accidental. And I will tell you this, just the amount of gas that is already behind pipe or that is going to be found because of oil production at $60 a barrel is going to require over $150 billion of infrastructure investment over the next 5 years.
And oil, you said the risk premium, take it to 60. Risk premium, take it to 70?
I still don't like the risk.
You don't? Okay.
No. I mean,
and you live with risk.
Things can go wrong very, very quickly in the area that produces most of the
then it goes
oil.
higher.
And then it goes higher. And I also think that they have their own issue of infrastructure that they need to invest in order to be able to deliver the gas.
Excellent. Let's leave it at that. That's Charif Souki, chairman and co-founder of Tellurian, T-E-L-L. May I remind people that we got behind LNG, his previous company, at $8. And look where that went. Mad Money's back into the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.